All right, so this is feedback on the Thunderbolt interview, right?
Right.
So my first view, again, independent of the numeric data or the questionnaire data, this is really about if you look at the goals and priorities piece, it seems like the team as a whole is not particularly happy or clear with the goals and priorities, right? So this is a team where they have a sense for what's important. They hear a different driver from the marketing folks.
Mm-hmm.
Managers new, so managers not really exerting a lot of influence yet on the goals and priorities overall.
Yeah.
And so their workaround is kind of like, well, let's make it an MBO, right? So I'm going to do it on the side because it's an MBO. So I've been sanctioned to do it because of the MBO. I'm going to do it because I'm going to get paid on it.
Right.
Some bonus. Doesn't particularly create any kind of sense of team or anything like that, right? Because it's sort of now, I'm an off-duty cop doing some other work, right? That's not my primary work. Yeah. So that's one really interesting observation that I feel. Do you agree with that observation?
Yeah, and it reflects a lack of alignment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so interesting, and important.
Yeah. The and also it appears there's been a lot of changes, right? So some membership changes.
Yeah.
Prior work with a contracting firm that doesn't seem like it truly really helped the team get started, and now they're dealing with some of the the aftermath of that, and so there's a lot of challenges to get some really clear goals defined and aligned. Second thing that I noticed is that even though they score high actually on their kind of let's call it leadership and reliance, nowhere in the conversation that I get clarity how or what the leadership model looks like.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like we're told this, we said that, and whatever, but it's not a. I mean, there was no. There's no clarity as to who provides a drumbeat for the team.
Yeah, I got the feeling like we're on our own. We're on our own, and we get some guidance from, is it Arpan?
Yeah.
Right, but yet we're on our own in terms of really figuring out what we're going to do to deal with those demands. Yeah.
And quite frankly, until the switch to Arpan in February, right, this team was part of. They'll reported to Chris Zollinger, and Chris had a lot of people, and a big scope and all that. And I can't imagine that they were getting some clear direction. And now it feels like I don't even know if they know what clear direction looks like.
Right.
It sounds like. I mean, they're really not getting clear direction per se.
Yeah.
Or really understand what that would do for them.
Right.
It seems like they get a story, they go work on it, and they do the best they can to sort of guide their work.
Yeah.
But and given all the changes and the work that they're involved, I don't really believe that that they're at a point where they can be truly self-managed.
No.
Right, and so the fact that they're not in this sort of a high-functioning, self-managed team,
right?
They are lacking that sort of level 1, level 2 direction in my mind.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some strong expertise. There's probably some good collaboration between experts on the team.
Right.
But that's
Yeah. So now, if we look at the action strategies, I think because everything has been so new, there's been a lot of trial and error, right? So try this, test that. Oh, that worked great. That sort of thing. But there was an interesting statement that said, hey, what happens if it's something really difficult, right? Like, you're in this kind of moving from the chaotic to the complex, and you go like, all right, I now get the picture, but because the difference between chaotic and complex from a visibility point of view is, okay, I get the picture, and it's complex.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do? So, we pull in, Brian Hanold, who's their architect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, why isn't the architect working on this thing like all the time?
Oh, uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Why is Brian sort of called in, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to be part of,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in other words, if you're dealing with complex matters,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to have somebody that has this complex expertise in dealing with the complex? But theoretically, an architect would, be part of this thing on an ongoing basis, as opposed to somebody you go to like occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, that itself also speaks to this sort of lack of direction.
Right.
This is lack of technical direction.
Yeah.
Right? As in somebody really owning that part and driving it.
Yeah. So problems are being sort of thrown over the wall to the team.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's it feels like a one-off as opposed to
right.
An ongoing something that really just happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like the recognition they had that the work is actually, sort of evolving.
Yeah.
It could start like something like clear data as a chaotic, and then became complex, and maybe now that they're having a sign or whatever, it's just complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's bigger than a red box, right? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to me that hearing them live and then reading in the questionnaire that their sense of efficacy is a lot higher than when you hear it in real time. I don't think anybody in this room would go home and say, "Man, we killed it today," right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they would go home and say, "Man, it was a hard day at the office." Right?
Yeah, we survived another day.
We survived another day. Yeah. So, which is kind of fascinating. Whether either the survey questions kind of lead you to see a rosier view of things, or is it? The questions in the survey really look at, hey, did I deliver the stuff that I was supposed to deliver? Mm-hmm. Whether it's on time or the right quality or the right value. I don't believe these folks are connected with the value they're delivering at all, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because the people downstairs are really darn excited about this, and then these guys have no idea. They're completely disconnected from that experience.
Yeah.
Right? So this team is not connected with their success, in my mind.
I don't think there's a moment in the process they're describing of moving from chaotic to complex to complicated, etc. It sounds like as the moment they start to see order in the chaos and get a grip on the complexity, something new hits.
Something what?
Something new hits. A new complication hits. A new demand hits. So I don't get the sense that there's ever a resting point in there. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a point where they can step back and kind of go, we're really accomplishing something here, because the next wave hits them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of an interesting view, which is hard to get, I think, numerically, because you either have to say they were very concerned about quality, right? Mm-hmm. But they weren't necessarily concerned about the quality of their own specific work, but just the quality of the overall system, right? Mm. So it's almost like if you had to ask the question, hey, is the overall system? Do you feel that the overall system quality is strong? Right? And then the answer to that would be like, no.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
But if you say, hey, do you think that the work that you're doing, is deliver the right quality? Go like, yeah, of course.
That's where the efficacy is coming from. That's where the efficacy numbers are coming from. Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it's a sense of individual, contribution versus what the thing